It's the Draftsmen Show.
I don't think it's a bad thing to spread yourself, not to spread yourself too thin, but to practice multiple disciplines. I think it's a good thing. I encourage cross training because you can learn things from other disciplines that you can apply to your discipline. It actually kind of goes back to adopting your parents, right?
Yes, it's related.
You can do things in your discipline differently because you know how things are done in another discipline. You can kind of bring them in sometimes creatively. It worked for me.
I'm interested. Yeah, I want to hear how you did it.
Okay, so when I was a little kid, my cousin and I've mentioned, he's the dick
Tom?
that called. Yeah, Tom.
Yeah.
You remember
I will
that
know
one
his name
episode?
for the rest of my life.
That fake voicemail.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
But he also did your shirt.
That's not my shirt.
Oh no, he did the.
He did his own shirt.
He made
makes
us
his own
sound
shirts.
better, so that makes.
He
up
did
for the,
make our intro song.
Tom's a great guy.
I love that guy. Yeah. He's my cousin. Anyway, as kids, we would make movies together. We would reenact existing movies. So we would basically, and this was in VHS times, right? When the camera, it's tape. There's no digital editing.
I know what you mean.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
When in order to edit anything, you have to connect the camera to the TV and the VCR. And if you want to like clip something, you have to press record, press play on the camera, record it, press pause, and then skip over to the next clip that you want to record, press record, play.
And you still get a glitch.
Oh, absolutely. There's always like a little like a few frames of like yeah. So we used to reenact. We reenacted the entire Home Alone movie. Home Alone: Lost in New York, Part 2.
That's impressive.
The whole thing. What we would do is we would play the movie on the TV. So the sound was the actual movie, and then we would just like lip sync and we would act it out, and then we would edit it all together. It was so stupid too because there was no continuity in the characters. Sometimes I would play, what's his name? The main character.
Macaulay Culkin's character?
Yeah.
I can't
whatever
remember
his
what
name is.
was.
Sometimes I would play him, sometimes he would play him. It was just all over the place. But we were being creative. We were making movies. We were thinking about that form of art, right?
How old?
Like 9 or 10. So that was my first kind of creative thing where I was like really into it, and we would do it for several years. We did this. We did The Mask, not the whole movie, but just clips of it, just to be funny. And we made our own stuff.
So it's a 9-year-old filmmaker.
Yeah. Then my dad got me into coding. He bought me a Visual Basics book. This was a very, very basic coding language.
How old are we talking about here now?
This is now like 10, 11.
Okay.
So I spent like a full summer just learning how to code as a little kid. And I made several games. It was some kind of game show that I made, but it was all about my family. It was all the questions about my family. But I designed all the visuals for the game. It was like a real game.
And you did this via coding.
Via Visual Basics code, yeah. So you'd play that. But I made several games. But anyway, I learned how to code. I really liked it. I was focused on that. Then, when I was like 13, I got really into oil painting because my parents' friend, they helped him come to America, and he taught me oil painting for a summer. And I just, from then on, actually, I've been drawing and painting. Then in high school, I got really into animation. And in all 4 years, I took animation every single semester. I think did I talk about that? No, I didn't.
mention the teacher who exposed you to Vilpoo stuff
and
that kind of thing.
That might have been an episode that we cut.
Okay, yeah. But I didn't know.
That might have been a lost episode.
I didn't know you got into animation and that he was the one who kind of introduced you.
Yeah, Nataha Lightfoot, who was a really good teacher at my high school, built everyone a light table, exposed us to Glenn Vilpoo, played us his VHS tapes in class. So he got me into animation. I took animation every single semester in high school. I thought I wanted to be an animator. I said last time I applied to CalArts, I didn't get in. So I ended up going to Watts Atelier. At Watts Atelier, I got back to drawing and painting. But while I was at Watts, I got really into web design, web development, and kind of starting my own businesses. So these are all very different things
Yes.
that I'm focused on and spending a lot of time and energy on exploring and learning. Web development, I got hired to develop many websites for people.
You were doing it freelance then?
Yeah, I was doing freelance web design, web development, like HTML, coding them, designing them. Here's your website. They weren't that great, but
But you did it?
yeah. So I learned how to do business. And at Watts, then after that, I started teaching. So it's another thing. I started learning how to teach. Long story still
That's
long.
like 7 or 8, is it 7 different disciplines
Something
that
like
you've
that.
mentioned there?
Yeah. So the teaching thing was the last thing. And then I started Proko. Do you see where I'm going with this?
I see where it's going. I definitely see the convergence gelling.
All of those
It's
together.
all of those together.
Every single one of those elements put together into one.
I root for you for having done the thing.
Yeah.
That was 7 or 8 disciplines that now come together so that your business allows you to do those many. Yeah. That's the best story about convergence, and also knowing just a little bit about it and being part of Proko now. It's great to hear. That's like one of those things that at the beginning of a romantic comedy, you say those two will never get together, and then at the end they get together.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Low, doo, 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 low, doo, 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 low, doo, doo, doo.